Their benefits will help Filipinos better manage healthcare costs amid a growing healthcare landscape. Today on Follow the Money, we are joined by Dr. Ish Pargas, Senior Vice President for Health Finance Policy Sector at PhilHealth. He will shed light on the financial adjustments affecting members and discuss the long-term sustainability of PhilHealth. Dr. Ish, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, and good day, Raine, and good day to all the televiewers.
Now, with the proposed changes in PhilHealth's contribution rates, how might these adjustments affect Filipino households' personal finances? What are the practical steps they can take to ensure that they're maximizing their benefits while managing potential increases in their contributions?
Well, Raine, just to clarify, the 5% increase in the contribution for this year is actually the last of the increase in the premium contribution as emphasized in the Republic Act 11223 or Universal Healthcare Act. So this is the last increase, and so basically the finances of our members would actually stabilize because, again, this is the last of the premium increases. But there are also, if you're aware, there are also moves and suggestions that we actually lower the premium increases. And we are right now in the thick of things studying it. We have been instructed by our board to check on how much or what percent can we actually decrease the premium contributions right now, because we do have some excess funds already. And so if that would be the case, and if the plan would pursue in lowering the premium rates, then that would actually help every family and even those who are actually paying premium contributions, because the decrease would actually revert into an increased amount that they could actually utilize for some other purposes rather than payment of premiums.
Can you share with us how that happens? What kind of other purposes could they actually revert those premium increases?
Well, for example, if they are actually paying for now 500 pesos a month, and if we will lower the premium amount, for example, to around 400, then there is a 100 peso savings that can be used for other purposes, for other expenses of the family, or for personal expenses.
We're looking at a graphic here that came from the Philippine Statistics Authority. It's saying that the current 15,000 peso monthly minimum wage earner would be making a contribution of about 675 pesos. And then it becomes 750 pesos after the proposed adjustment, or after the adjustment. Is that correct? That means instead of 9,000 a year, you would be paying, instead of like 8,100 per year, you would be paying 9,000. So the 900 pesos, is that what you're saying, that they might not have to pay?
Because currently, the premium contribution is computed at 5% of your basic salary with a minimum floor of 10,000. So if your salary is at 10,000, then at the 5% you would be paying 500. But if you are actually employed, you are paying half of it, and the employer is paying half of it. So that's 250 a month, and the employer would pay 250 a month. But if you are paying the 500, then for a year, it's actually going to be 6,000 pesos. But if, again, we will decrease the premium contribution to, for example, a 4% of your basic salary, then that would be like 400 pesos. And for a year, that would be around 4,800 pesos. So there would be a decrease in the premium contribution, and you would have savings, of course.
So under what circumstances can we be able to decrease the contributions? And actually, this is coming, as you were saying, this is coming from the savings that PhilHealth has generated. Is that correct?
Yeah. According to the law, if PhilHealth will have an excess fund of course, after deducting the necessary reserve funds, then two things can be done. One is we can actually increase or expand our benefits or decrease the premium contribution. So those two conditions are actually identified under the Republic Act 11223 or Universal Healthcare Act.
So in which case, when is that decision going to be made?
Hopefully, before the year ends, we can actually have the decision already. But the management is already discussing it, and I think our president, President Emmanuel Ledesma, also promised that we will be looking seriously and closely on that. And Raine, if you are actually aware, also there is an ongoing discussion with the Senate on the amendments on the Universal Healthcare Act. And there is also a proposal there to decrease the premium contribution.
Mm-hmm. Right. So is the PhilHealth management going to hear pros and cons of whether to save it and decrease the premium contributions or add services or increase the coverages?
Well, for now, actually, you would, if you are aware, we are actually already expanding and increasing our benefits. And this started in 2023 when we actually increased, for example, our pneumonia package for severe from 26,000 to around 90,000 now. And of course, our coverage for those patients who have stroke, the ischemic stroke, for example, is increased from 28,000 to around 80,000. And the hemorrhagic stroke is increased from 38,000 to around 78,000. And then this year, Raine, we actually increased also the coverage for bronchial asthma and infections of the newborn. And in February of 2024, we have increased 30% across the board for almost all the 9,000 cases or case package payments that we have. So that is already a big increase in our services, and we continuously increase several of our packages. Like if you are able to hear it, we have increased our hemodialysis from 90 sessions to 156 sessions. That would cover the 1 year dialysis sessions of our patients. And we have increased the package from 2,600 to 4,000 last May. And this September, our board has already approved again another round of increase of the dialysis package from 4,000 to 6,350. We are also soon to come out with our increased package on dengue, especially for the dengue severe, from 16,000 to 47,000. And before the year ends, there are still a lot of packages that we are studying, and hopefully before the year ends, we can also come out with the increases on those.
And I'm sure that there's a lot of members that those packages, improved packages, are impacting. Now, after recent questions on the transfer of funds from PhilHealth, how does the PhilHealth assure members that their contributions are being used effectively? How were you able to gather that much savings, or how were you able to grow your funds that effectively? And are there specific measures being taken to protect members' financial contributions? How do they ensure that they are receiving the full value of their payments?
Well, for one, they can already see that we are actually utilizing the funds that we have by, of course, again, by expanding our benefits, and hopefully we can also reduce or bring down the premium contributions. We have expanded most of our benefits, not only for the inpatient, but also even for the outpatient or the primary care. If you are familiar, we already have the primary care benefit now, which we call Consulta, wherein we actually offer free consultation, free diagnostics. We have expanded it from 13 to 15. Currently, we have included mammography and ultrasound of the lungs and the breast. And there is a coverage for free medications, currently at 21, but soon we will expand that to 53. And that is under our primary care benefit. And so thank you also, Raine, for this this opportunity to inform that our members, every Filipino, can now actually enjoy a primary care benefit. They only just need to register to consult a provider, and they are the ones who are going to take care of them. And we will continuously improve and expand all our benefits to make sure that every Filipino or every member of PhilHealth will actually get that mandate of financial risk protection in times of ill health. That is actually what we are mandated to do. And one of our main goal right now is really to make the out-of-pocket expense of every patient be lowered down as a target. Currently, it's at 40 to 44%, but hopefully we can even reduce that to 30% by coming out with increased benefit packages, and second, by coming out with financial risk protection policies that would actually help our members too. But one more important thing is, even if we do have all these packages, it is important that our members also have an access to such benefit packages. What is the use of having such benefits if you cannot actually access those, or we don't have any facilities that can actually provide this particular services? And so we are also making sure that we have enough accredited facilities that will provide and give this quality of care of services to our members.
All right, we need to take a break, Dr. Ish, but when we come back, perhaps we can talk about how we are further supporting our members by perhaps even working with, supporting private care specialists. Follow the money. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We are giving spotlight with this innovative business enterprises that shares growth in our community. We're giving these entrepreneurs a chance to boost their business in the market. Let's join Mai Rodriguez together with different entrepreneurs to know their stories and challenges.
Remember, the road to success is never a straight line.
Pathways to Success, 11 a.m. on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
How would you like to see our problems with Pogos end?
And the Pogos.
Would you consider running for office in the future?
It would be hypocrisy to say no.
It is.
At that time, how much was your first pay?
If I'm not mistaken, it was like $120 per week.
Oh, wow. So before we say goodbye to you, you can take off your sunglasses so people can see you better. Always stay at the forefront.
And we're back on Follow the Money with Dr. Ish Pargas of PhilHealth. Dr. Pargas, earlier we were talking about PhilHealth's potential role in supporting startups and entrepreneurs. We noticed that there have been a lot of kidney dialysis centers, for example, that have sprouted up. Is this where the demand is, and has this been with the support of PhilHealth?
Well, we all know that there is actually an increasing number of patients who are diagnosed to have CKD or chronic kidney diseases. And so as a as an insurer and part of the health system, we are making sure that those patients are also covered by our benefits. So we do have a package for hemodialysis. We also have other packages for other types of dialysis, like peritoneal dialysis. But we also provide for kidney transplantation. So for the whole renal replacement therapy, we are actually providing a package or a benefit for that. And we do recognize that there are a lot of facilities actually coming out, and we accredit them before they can actually participate with PhilHealth.
Dr. Pargas, healthcare costs have increased by 10% in 2023. Are there ways that PhilHealth is helping minimize the out-of-pocket expenses of its members? And how would you advise members to better plan their personal finances, especially if there are gaps in coverage or they need to manage unexpected medical costs?
Yes, actually, Raine, what we want for the Universal Healthcare Act is that the cost of care would be predictable, such that we are coming out with the amount of packages that we actually cover. But other than those, we are also coming out with financial risk protection policies. One is, of course, the copay or the no copay policies. Currently, we are also implementing the no copay policy, which is espoused in the Universal Healthcare Act, that when a patient is actually admitted in the ward or basic accommodation, there should be no copay for services being provided to them, especially in the government or public facilities. But however, for those who are in the private, we are planning right now, and we are studying on coming out with copay policies to make sure that the members, our members, particularly PhilHealth members, are not subject to exorbitant fees or any very high hospital billings. Yes, one of our mandate also is to make sure that there is enough financial coverage, and that would actually result to a lowering down of out-of-pocket expense. Again, as I've said, currently we are on the 40 to 44% out-of-pocket, but that is still very high. And we are hoping that we can actually lower down to around 25 to 30%. For our members, just make sure that with the UHC, everyone is a member. And of course, with that also, everyone has an immediate eligibility to all our benefits. But I would want to remind all our members to make sure that they are actually registered for PhilHealth, and their information are actually updated with PhilHealth, such that when there is a need for them to use or utilize the benefits, it would be easy for them, and there would be no more other requirements that they need to submit. Just make sure that they are actually registered with an updated information, and if they are actually paying members, with an updated contribution, and then they can actually avail anytime if there is a need.
Thank you for that. Dr. Pargas, we know that the funds of PhilHealth remains in a surplus, and we do appreciate that, and so that we can actually explore how much further we can service our members. But how were you able to maintain the sustainability of your funds? Up to what year would PhilHealth be sustainable with its funds? And are there still services that are in great demand, and yet PhilHealth is not able to cover it at the moment?
Well, as an insurance company, although we are social health insurance at that, we also have our actuary and actuarial department who does the number projections and, of course, financial projections. For every benefit that we develop, there is always an actuarial viability study and financial impact analysis so that we can and we know what would be the impact on our financials. Yes, we have funds because one, we have continuing premium contribution collections, and we have subsidy of premium coming from the national government. There are a lot of other requests for us to cover, particularly those high-end diagnostics like MRI, CT scan. The request is for us to cover those even for outpatient, because currently we cover them as part of the inpatient. There is the request for us to cover for dental packages. There is also a demand for us to improve and expand our primary care benefit to a comprehensive outpatient. There is also a need for us to develop an emergency care package. So, Raine, there are still a lot of benefits that we are planning to do, and hopefully we can do that in the nearest possible time.
All right, grateful for that. Were you able to mention a year as to until when PhilHealth would be financially viable?
Well, I think on our recent actuarial life projection, we are still positive until 2029.
All right, thank you for that. And finally, is there a message you would like to share with PhilHealth members about the impact of their contributions on improving the overall healthcare system in the Philippines? How can they continue to support PhilHealth's mission while ensuring they benefit from the services provided?
Thank you, Raine, for the opportunity, and we would like to assure our members, and that is actually every Filipino or all Filipinos, that we will continue expanding and improving on our benefits, and we will continue in making sure that all Filipinos or all PhilHealth members will actually enjoy the financial risk protection that we will provide. And in so doing, we will be diligent in our functions as the stewards of your contribution. Also with that, we are bent on making our operations more efficient and convenient for everyone, especially our transactional services. But I would like also to remind everyone that we have the responsibility, one, to register and enroll to PhilHealth. Second, to update our information. Third is, if we are a paying member, to continue paying our premium contribution. And fourth is to avail all our benefits. We are assuring everyone that we will continue with our mandate of providing the financial risk protection in times of ill health.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Pargas, for sharing your insights and for guiding us viewers on how to balance healthcare and personal finances. Of course, Dr. Pargas underscored the critical role of PhilHealth in ensuring every Filipino has access to affordable healthcare, and he also allowed us to better understand and maximize available benefits while staying prepared for financial adjustments. Thank you, Dr. Pargas.
Thank you, Raine.
And before we go, we leave you with this thought from European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde. Affordable healthcare is the backbone of a resilient economy. And that is it for today's edition of Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it here on BNC, the Billionaire News channel, always on time.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. announces the senatorial slate of the administration coalition for next year's elections. Donald Trump will no longer run in 2028 if he loses to Kamala Harris in November. Two senators nearly coming to blows Tuesday night over a concurrent resolution.
Mai Rodriguez sums up the newsfeed for you halfway through the day.